Hello, happy Thursday afternoon. Welcome to Abs and Core with me, Jazzy, Program Manager with Exercise at Autodesk. And today we've got a good little circuit here planned out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 3 rounds, 4 different exercises. We're gonna go through 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. Oh, let me double check that. Yep, 45, 15. And then we're going to end with a core finisher, which I will let y'all know what that is when we get there. So we're going to start off on the ground. I'll go ahead and demonstrate everything for y'all, make sure we got everything going. So we're going to be on our backs the entire time until our finisher happens. So what we're going to do is we're going to be on the back here. We're going to have a 90-degree angle in our hips and in our knees. And from here, we're going to push our belly button into the ground. One at a time. We're going to come down, tap a heel, exhale, come back up, tap the heel, use the core, exhale, come back up. So we're just going to tap those heels here, keeping that belly button press into the ground. And then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to do some crunches here, but we're going to leave our legs just like that. So we're going to have our hands by our temples, exhale, come up, back down, use the core, exhale, come up and back down. So we're just going to have that same tabletop position here. So going to help us activate that lower core. And then we're going to move on to a single leg V up. So what we're going to do is one leg at a time. So our belly button is pushed into the ground. We're going to come up, touch your leg, back down, exhale, come up and back down. So that is going to be the next thing. That one's going to work on the whole core. And then finally, last thing we'll do, back in this position, we're going to do dead bugs here, but we're going to go nice and slow. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, down, and then 1, 2, 3, back. Other side, 1, 2, 3, down, and then 1, 2, 3, back up. So that is going to be our circuit for the day. And then I will get to our finisher when we're done, because I feel like the finisher is gonna make us all want to not take this class today. So we're gonna go ahead and get started here. So we're going to go ahead and warm up. So if you're just joining, we're going to be on the ground for everything today. We're going to do 3 rounds, 4 exercises, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. And we can just go through that as we go through. So starting off here, we're going to get into our warm up. We're going to get on our hands and our knees. And we're going to do a little bit of cat-cow here, so that way we can really work on getting into that neutral spine, so we can work on that. So we're going to take a nice big deep inhale as we curve our backs and look up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to exhale, tucking the pelvis, pushing our shoulder blades towards the ceiling. And then we're going to go ahead and flow between those two a couple more times. Just making that nice valley with our low back. And then we're going to inhale as we push our back up. And flowing back into our cat. And exhaling back to our cow here. This one's a cat. I messed it up. And then we can go ahead and exhale and return to center. So that spine and now is going to be our neutral spine. So we went the extreme in each way. We found our neutral spine. Our core is locked in, ready to go. So from here, we're just going to do a couple rocks back. So we're keep our pelvis tucked, everything where it is in that neutral spine. We're going to go ahead and bring the glutes towards the heels, keeping everything nice and tight there, coming back to center. And we're going to go back down, inhaling, keeping that core nice and tight, and exhaling, coming up. And we got one more rocking back. And exhaling, coming up. All right. Last part of our warm up here real quick, we're going to do a couple quadruped opposites. So we're going to keep that core nice and tight, keep our spine where it was when we started. And from here, I'm going to take my right arm, my left leg, extend out in front of us, leg behind us, and then back down. And then to the other side, making sure that as we do this, our hips are facing down, our spine is staying in line. We don't want to dip here. We don't want that leg going super high up. And then back down. So we're going to do a few on each side here. So extending opposite arm, opposite leg, keeping those hips pointed down. We're moving nice and slow through this, and then moving over to the other leg and arm, keeping that hip pointed down. Nice job, everyone. And back down. And then we'll do one more on each side. So extending up. I don't even remember what side I started on. So we're just going to do one more now. So extending opposite arm, opposite leg, keep that core nice and tight, and back down. All right, I think we are ready to rock and roll. So we're going to do 3 rounds of this, 4 exercises. We're going to start on, we're going to be on our back the whole time. So getting ready, everyone lay down on the back. We're starting with some heel taps, okay? So I'm going to get the timer going here in 3, 2, 1. So we're on our backs. Our knees are in the air. We got 90-degree angles in the hips and in the knees. Keep that belly button pressed into the ground. One leg at a time. We're going to tap that heel down to the ground, and then the other heel, and then come back up. So keep that belly button pressed into the ground. Exhale as we come up. We want to really use that core. So we're going to keep that locked and loaded here. Act like you're crushing an apple on your stomach. Or you can act like you're bracing yourself like someone is going to punch you in the stomach, which I guess is not as pretty imagery. But if that's what works, then that's what works. 3, 2, 1. All right, nice job, everyone. Next thing we have up on the agenda here is we're going to do some crunches, but we're going to leave our feet up like they just were. So that's going to give us a whole core workout. 3, 2, 1. So belly button press into the ground, knees above the hips, hands at the temples. We exhale, come up and right back down. So this is going to help us strengthen the low back as well as the lower portion of our core. Really engaging our core the whole time by pressing that belly button into the ground. You want to act like you're pushing that belly button into a towel and you're not letting the towel move. So we shouldn't be able to really slip our hands any further than this. If the low back is coming off the ground, we can fit our whole hands under there, which is not what we want out of this. So keep that belly button locked in. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, next up, we have a single leg V up. So we're going to have our legs and arms outstretched. One leg at a time. We're going to come up, touch that leg, back down, and then come up, touch the leg, and back down. 3, 2, 1. So again, keeping that belly button pressed into the ground is going to help us really engage that core. It's also going to help us work on our low back muscles, as well as keeping our pillar nice and adjusted here. So we're getting a little bit extra lower core work here in this one. I guess in this whole workout today. Just wait until we get to our finisher after this. You are either going to not like me anymore, or you're going to be really excited. 3, 2, 1. All right, last thing we have going on here in this circuit is going to be a dead bug, but we're going to extend nice and slow. So we're going to take 3 seconds down and 3 seconds up. 3, 2, 1. So hands and arms up. So 1, 2, 3. Extend. 1, 2, 3, and back. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So keeping that pace, keeping that belly button pressed into the ground. Exhaling as we come back up. Really keeping that core engaged the whole time. You might notice it's starting to get a little hard. Core is getting a little bit tired. Great job. 3, 2, 1. All right. Round 1 is done. We got 2 more to go. We're starting back at the top with our heel taps. So we got 2 more rounds to go here. 3, 2, 1. Let's get those knees in that 90-90 position here. Really use that core. Exhale as you come up is going to really help us keep from using the hip flexors. So I know mine, as much as I use my core when I do movements like this, I start to feel them in my hips a little bit just from having to hold my legs in this position. So that's completely normal, but really just making sure that we're exhaling, keeping that pelvis tucked, using the core to pull the knees back in. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have the crunches. So legs in the same position, crunching up towards the knees. Getting ready here. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I almost started doing dead bugs. Not there yet. Exhale as we come up, making sure still low back into the ground. So bring the belly button towards the ground, knees above the hips. If the knees come in too far, it's going to take out that lower core. So we want the knees directly above those hips. As we exhale and crunch up. Also important to make sure we're not using our neck or our head to guide the movement. We're just using our core. Great job. 3, 2, 1. All right, my core is already feeling the burn. I don't know about y'all. All right, we got our single leg V-ups coming up next. 3, 2, 1. Exhaling, coming up, right back down, keeping that belly button on the ground. I don't know. I'm going to say that enough times today. We'll see. If I had $1 for every time I said, put your belly button into the ground today, I would be so rich. Just kidding, but I have said it a lot. So I think we all are doing that. But really engage that core, crush the apple, or brace yourself like someone's going to punch you in the stomach, and then lift those legs up. That's why the core is so important to help us, our lower extremities, as well as our arms. 3, 2, 1. So now we're going to do our dead bugs nice and slow. But it's really important to have that strong core so our arms and legs can pull from our core. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going nice and slow here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So really keeping that nice slow pace out and slow pace in. Oh, that one, I really felt that in my core. Wow. So really keeping the head low back on the ground, pulling back into the body nice and slow. Great job, everyone. Keep going. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. All right, we got one more round to go, starting with our heel taps. And then we're going to take a little second while I explain our finisher. 3, 2, 1. So we're going to do something after this round. It'll give us a second to get some water, let our core rest a little bit, and then it's going to be super fun. It's been a long time since I've done this finisher. We used to do this after our workouts before softball practice in college. And let me tell you, it took me a long time to work up to do the whole thing. So I will likely be taking lots of breaks today, especially after all the other core work we've just done. And we also did a little bit of core in exercise with exos earlier. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our crunches with that same feet position. We're gonna have to do some hip stretches and back stretches after this. 3, 2, 1. Keeping that low back into the ground. Definitely don't know about anyone else. My hips are very much so feeling these movements. I do also have abnormally tight hips. Great job. Keep those knees above the hips. So when they come in, it takes our core out of it. Want to really use that core to come up. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our single leg V-ups. One leg at a time. Last time doing this. 3, 2, 1. Keep that belly button plastered into the ground. Exhaling does help us engage our core because as we exhale, things kind of tighten up in that area. So we exhale. Also, exhaling in general during the portion where our muscle is contracting will also be able to help us maybe lift a little bit heavier, have a little bit better engagement. Breathing through movements is so important. It all comes down to our breath and our breath work. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last part, we got our slow dead bug. So 3 seconds out, 3 seconds back. And then I'll give us a little bit of rest before we get going with our finisher. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Coming back in slow definitely engages our core a lot more than going fast, which is why I do always recommend taking every exercise, but especially core movements. I always recommend taking them a little bit slower than we think so we can really properly engage our muscles. So the slower we go, the better muscle recruitment we get. And that is not just with abs or core, it is with everything. 3, 2, 1. All right. So go ahead, take a second, everyone, grab a sip of water. And it is time for part 2 of the workout. So I kind of don't like myself right now, but it's gonna be a good time. So what we're gonna do, we have 5 minutes. We're gonna do a plank for 5 minutes, but we're gonna do different types of planks. So we're gonna start off, we're gonna do a minute on our elbows, and then we're gonna do a minute on one side, and then we're gonna do a minute on our hands, and then a minute on their other side, and then we're gonna do a minute on the elbows again. So I know it's a lot. Deep breaths, we're mentally preparing for this. Like I said, it is actually really hard. I'm probably gonna need to take some breaks too. So if you ever need to set your knees down, do so, count to 3, right back up. Even if you only hold it for a few seconds, you're doing that the whole time, that is better than just sitting on the ground the whole time. So if you need to take a second, count to 3, and right back into it, okay? So I'm gonna get the timer started. We're starting on our elbows and toes here. 3, 2, 1, and go. So we're keeping our elbows under the shoulders, butt is down, back is flat, core is tight. So this is also a time where normally I would just really start to talk to everyone and we could have a conversation. So if you want to unmute yourself, feel free. We can talk about our highs and lows of the day, We can, talk about really anything, but that definitely helps us to keep our mind off of things. Even if you just start talking out loud to yourself without unmuting, or you can talk to whoever's in the room with you, anything like that. But we're doing great. Focus on the breath. If we really focus on inhaling nice and deep, I actually need to take a second, and then exhaling nice and slow. We got less than 15 seconds to go, and then we're going right into our side plank, okay? So we're going to transition here in a few seconds. 3, 2, 1, right into our side plank. So we're off to our side now. So we can either have our feet stacked or next to each other, whatever feels good, whatever is something that you can hold. My feet always slip during this, but we want to make sure that elbow is staying under the shoulder, really helping us protect our shoulder joints here. Again, focusing on the breath is going to help us. My shoulders. We did a lot of other types of core exercises today, but planks are great to work our whole pillar. So we got our shoulders, hips, and torso working here right now. Oh my goodness, I definitely am stopping a lot on this one. So I told y'all that I would be doing that, so it's not a surprise anymore. All right, into our shoulder plank. 3, 2, 1. All right, so switching over here. Hands below the shoulders. My goodness, I need to come up for a second. Okay. I knew this was going to be difficult, but this is about mind over matter at this point. Breathing through the hard parts. Count to 3, right back into it. Out. Focus on the breath. My goodness. Oh man, the right part of my core is on fire after that side plank. Okay, I'm being a baby right now. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. And if it helps you to see that it's not easy for me either, I do not like training core. All right, side plank. 3, 2, 1, right into it. Rolling over to the other side that we have not done yet. And same thing, you can have feet together or feet stacked, whatever feels good. Other arm up in the air, helping us with balance. Try and hold as long as you can. If you can't hold it the whole time, of course, I haven't been doing that either. Count to 3, right back into it. Focus on the breath. We're almost there. After this one, we only have 1 more plank to go, so we're almost there. Great job. For the last one, I'll let you all choose. You can either do elbows or hands, whatever is going to feel best, whatever one is less tired. All right, we're almost there. We're getting ready to go back to our elbow plank in 3, 2, 1. All right, so either elbows or shoulders, whatever, or sorry, elbows or hands, whatever feels good. I'm like not. Okay. Breathing, focus on the breath. Keep that core engaged. Keep that pelvis tucked. So we want to keep that neutral spine that we found earlier. So we're preventing our bodies from caving down. So keep the butts up, but also we don't want butts in the air like this. We want butts down. So keeping one straight line from our head to our hips and our shoulders to our toes. We've reached the halfway mark a while ago. We got less than 15 seconds to go. I keep sliding in these socks. We're almost there. Finish strong here, y'all. 3, 2, 1, and we are done with class. Nice job, y'all. I know that one is tough to end with, but the more we do planks, the better we're going to get at that. Not saying we're going to do that very often, but we will get better at it the more we do this class. So go ahead, get a sip of water if you need it. And we're gonna go ahead and make our way onto our sides here. And we're just gonna do one cool down stretch here. And we're gonna do pretzels. So we're gonna be on our side. I'm gonna start on my left side here. If you need to grab something for your head, feel free to grab a pillow or something to support your head. We're gonna stretch out everything with this one. So we're gonna get rotation, which is gonna help us stretch out the core. So I'm gonna take my top leg up, over, and across my body. Knee and ankle stay on the ground. Bottom hand goes on top of that knee. And with our top hand, we're gonna grab onto the bottom leg here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a nice big deep breath, inhale, and then we're gonna exhale, opening up towards the ground with that top shoulder. So this one, we're gonna stretch out. We're gonna feel it a little bit in our quads and our shoulders, but this is gonna help us rotating through the low back after all of that core that we did with keeping our low back on the ground. This is gonna help us really get a nice stretch through our low back because we're rotating here. We're gonna take nice big deep breaths in through the nose, into the belly, and taking longer exhales than our inhales. Great job, y'all. Let's go ahead and do one more deep breath in this position. And once we've completed that exhale, we can gently release the bottom leg here, come back to our side. We can go ahead and flip on over onto the other side. So going to be on the right side this time. Same checklist here. So top leg up, over, and across. Bottom hand on top of the knee. So knee and ankle stay on the ground. With my top hand, I'm going to grab onto my bottom foot or ankle. And we're going to inhale to prepare. And we're going to exhale, opening up towards the ground. So top shoulder towards the ground, getting that rotation through the spine. Nice big deep belly breaths. Fully relax into the stretch with each exhale. And let's go ahead and do one more big deep breath here. And after that last breath, you can gently release that bottom leg. We can roll back onto our stomach on the hands and knees. And you're more than welcome to stay on the ground, where you can return to seated, kneeling, standing, however you'd like to finish out the class. That is going to be all the time I have for this afternoon's abs and core class. So thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you all enjoyed that class. Your core is hopefully on fire, but not too bad. And we do have our classes tomorrow. We got sports performance and mindset reset with me at 7, and then we got functional fitness Friday and guided breathing with Jonathan at 12 tomorrow. So definitely join us for either one of those. But great job today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and weekend if I don't see you before then.